What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Arizona fishing report this month for the month of April. Before we go any further, I want to thank Hatch Toyota for sponsoring this video and sponsoring the channel. If you guys are interested in checking out a new vehicle, especially a new Tundra or Tacoma, check them out. They're in Sholo, Arizona, and they've got the best selection of Toyota trucks out there, and they'll treat you right. So to dive right into the report, fishing's been really good. Overall, I would say I've seen a lot of big fish come out. A couple of the lakes are fishing really good for numbers, and overall, it's been a good month of March. We're here. I'm doing this report right. It's actually Easter. It's the last day of March. So as we roll into the month of April, this will hopefully give you a little bit of an extra boost to your game plans as you fish. But March has been solid. We've got a pretty good front rolling through right now. You know, it's rainy and cold and cloudy today. Tomorrow's going to be rainy and cold and cloudy, but things I'm sure after that are going to clear up. We've had fair weather leading up to this, and you know, as far as the water conditions, the lake conditions go, you know, overall, this is probably going to add a little bit of dirty water to a couple certain areas on certain lakes. Like Roosevelt, for instance, is on the way up. It's come up a couple feet over the last week or so, and it's going to fill up to 100% full. There's no doubt about it. I really think that right now it's like 7 foot below full pool. I'm pretty sure we're going to see that thing get to 100%. So rising water there, you know what that does to the fish. A lot of times this time of year the fish do come up with it. So stick shallow. There's not a whole lot of reason to be fishing deep right now. We're in the heart of the spawn. Water's coming up, and any of the lakes like Bartlett, same deal. Water's coming up. The fish are going to want to get on the bank. Sure, there are fish out in open water still. If you turn the live scope on and look out behind you, there's fish, and you can catch them. But I really think the bulk of the fish are going to be on the bank right now on all these lakes. Pleasant historically is always rising this time of year. Rising water is the theme right now, so be on the lookout for that. The water conditions at Saguaro, I definitely want to address that. There's some golden algae that Game and Fish has found and reported in the water. There have been a couple minor fish kills. The lake still looks funky. I mean, there have been some giant fish coming out of there. There's no doubt about it. If you look at on Facebook or any of the local fishing pages, there's a lot of big fish coming out of there. We've caught some, but I've been trying my best to give it a rest because it is still funky. I don't know what's going on. The fish don't want to come shallow and be, you know, and spawn in this algae in these conditions right now. You can go out there and catch them. If you do, definitely just catch and release right away. Don't put a fish in your live well and risk going through an area that's got the golden algae and then pumping that into your live well, onto the fish, and then releasing that fish expecting him to survive. If you go to Saguaro, catch and release right where you're at. And same goes with Canyon too. I'm not 100% sure on what the water conditions are there, but a lot of times when it's happening in Saguaro, it's happening in Canyon as well. So Apache sounds like it's doing pretty good. Doesn't sound like they're having many effects from that algae. I've heard that fishing is pretty good up there. I've not been myself, but if I was going to Apache right now, it's a good time to go. Wacky worms up shallow. Jerk baits. If you're looking for a big fish, the call shad, I talked about the call shad last week, but that's a good kind of approach. If you got some windy or cloudy conditions early in the morning, throw that call shad, throw a bigger reaction bait. If you're looking for a bigger bite, when that sun comes out, bust out the wacky rig and then bust out the polarized sunglasses. Polarized sunglasses, if you like to sight fish, this is a really good way to do it. The Berkeley Gilly. And again, I'm going to give all these baits away. If you drop a comment below, I pick one random comment. Randomly, I go through and I'll just put my finger on one, and that's who's gonna get the baits. Last month's winner, I'm going to announce right here too. It's Scott Holland 5046. So Scott Holland 5046. If you're watching this, I've got your baits in a box right next to me here. I'll ship them out to you. Send me an email, all lowercase azangler@gmail.com. And I'll send your baits out. Got Eric, his baits from the previous month. So Scott, these are all yours, dude. And then there's going to be a winner for the April baits. So again, Drop a comment below. You'll be entered to win the baits. Let me know what's going on your way. Give us your fishing report as well, where you've been fishing, where you plan to fish this month. But anyways, sorry, I'm rambling, talking about sight fishing. This gilly's a great way to catch big largemouth. I fished a tournament with a buddy of mine, Alex Sentner, on Roosevelt a couple weeks ago, and we caught a couple key fish on that bait right there that were spawning. So a lot of bed fish, a lot of pre-spawn fish. We're starting to see a few fry garters. As the month goes on, you're going to see a lot more fry garters, and maybe we'll creep into the shad spawn as well. So that's kind of what's going on at Apache. Let's dive back into Roosevelt, because that's a place that so many people are going to fishing right now. Fishing's great, a lot of numbers. There's so much brush in the water, so again, you're a little bit limited on the bait, so you can throw the cull shad's a great way to get a big bite there. If you're trying to fish that brush and cover water, a swim jig's a great way to do it, either a bluegill or a shad color. This is a 1/2 ounce Berkeley swim jig right here. I'm gonna pair that with a Shape 108. It's a crawfish looking trailer, but if you throw it in white and you swim it along, it looks like a shad. If you throw it in a more of a greenish orangish pattern, it'll look like a bluegill. It's a good way to imitate a bluegill, but it's weedless. It's just like throwing a spinnerbait or a vibrating jig, but it's extra weedless. It's really efficient, and it's a little more subtle. So if you're around a lot of boats and the fish are getting a lot of pressure, I like to opt for the swim jig rather than the spinnerbait or the vibrating jig. It's just a little bit more subtle, easier to put in those tough to reach places. So again, as the month progresses and the shad spawn starts, the bluegills start to show up and get ready to spawn, the swim jig's going to be an even bigger player. Right now, we're kind of on the edge in early April. It's I would say right now, we're smack dab in the middle of the spawn on a lot of the lakes. Alamo's been a really good lake, and just like Roosevelt, I would fish them very similar right now. A lot of the fish are going to be spawning in the pockets, but not all the fish will be back in the pockets. You'll have fish on the outside, halfway back, drop the trolling motor, fish your way all the way back in, and let that tell you where to start your pattern, right? If you start noticing that you're getting your bites in the backs of the pockets, just start running the backs of the pockets. If you're getting the bites on the outside, run the outside. The water's dirtying up a little bit at Roosevelt. It's been extremely clean, like as clean as I've ever seen it. And it's dirtying up a little bit over there, so that's gonna open up some opportunities to throw some different baits, but surely you could still find some clear water mid-lake, but I know for a fact the salt end is starting to get dirtier, which is a good thing. It was interesting to see you down 10, 11, 12 feet in the salt, over the last month, but it's good to have a choice on whether you want to fish dirtier or cleaner water. So that's dirtying up. I expect the tonneau to probably do the same thing. Actually, yeah, it's already a little bit dirtier than it was in the tonneau as well, so it's doing the same thing. Overall, though, it's a great month to get out and fish. Right now, smack dab in the middle of the spawn. As we look ahead, get ready to do some post-spawn fishing, shad spawn, fry garter, stuff like that. Topwater season's right around the corner. I don't have any topwaters in my bait selection here, but for sure you could go out tomorrow and catch some bass on topwater. And if you like throwing it, now's a great time to do it. It's only going to get better. Mid-late April and then May, those are my favorite. That's my favorite time to throw topwater as a whole. So put the topwater box in the boat if it's not already. It's time to tie one on and do that as well. Colorado River stuff, I did get over to Havasu and Parker one day last week or so. It was pretty good. Havasu's it's not crystal clear, but the fishing was talking to some buddies that fished in a club tournament this past weekend. The fishing was actually good. The weights were pretty good. Those fish are going to be shallow up in the Tules. You can throw some jerk baits over some points for some smallmouth. Obviously, the fish use those habitats coming in and out of the spawn, so definitely not a bad time to be over there. Parker was really good when we were over there. Just a good time to be fishing in Arizona. So, again, appreciate you guys watching. Make sure Scott Holland, send me that email, and everyone else drop a comment below. Someone else will win these baits, and I'll see you guys out on the water. Thanks again.